believe in.
All right, thank you so much. Here, the program still this morning on ITV. Now we've got Comrade Kola Edokpayi, a human rights activist and a very prominent member of the judicial panel of inquiry concerning the ENDSARS that we're talking about. Comrade Kola Edokpayi, you're welcome to the program. We still have pharmacist Uyi Riaki here, still on the show as we discuss along. Now, Comrade Edokpayi, we need to get a first-hand information from you. Before this time, most of us thought that the panel of inquiry has completed their findings given the time frame of 90 days. So what is the status quo now? Do they have more time? Did the government give them more time?
Yes, thank you very much, brother. You know, I've been sure when the panel was set up by or inaugurated by Edo State Governor, Governor Seki, he gave us a time frame of 90 days. We were of the considered opinion that we will attend to all the petitions that will be submitted to the panel. But to our greatest astonishment, we couldn't even treat 3/4 of the petition. So we transmitted a formal letter to the governor of Edo State, pleaded for extension, and it was granted. But there is no, if we just rush within that 19 days, just rush or
it has been
extended at least for another 90 days, at least by next month. No, for another 90 years, for another 90, at least by next month. Yes, no, not 3 months from now. Not 3 months from now. 3 months from February. February, yes. Yes, we have just less than, let's say, 3 weeks now to round off our assignment given to us by state government. Yes.
Because for some people, perhaps the state governor is doing what he needs to do as a magnanimous, governor. I mean, giving the opportunity for people to make their complaints. Because if you guys had completed your job and done and dusted within that 90 days, a lot of people would not have been part of the inquiry.
Yes, you are right. And that was why we gave that opportunity to them, because we want to make sure that justice is done to everybody, or 3/4 of those who are victims of police brutality, of SARS monstrosity. We do not want a situation whereby some people will be agitating that they were not given that time to vent their spleen. That was why we just said, let us do the needful, so that at the end of the day, those who are victims of police repression and police will be ecstatic and exhilarated that to some extent they have gotten justice. We want justice to be done to everybody.
Okay. Now, there's no doubt that the expectations from this panel is very high.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, people are hoping that this won't turn out to be another national confab of 2014. Remember national confab of 2014.
Yes.
So what is the guarantee that at the end of the day, your recommendations at the panel will be something that government will work with?
Yes, without consulting the oracle of the hill and the cave. I will tell you that some states have started implementing recommendations of the panels. We are very, very, very optimistic. This ENDSARS panel is a special panel. It cannot be, you cannot use it to compare other judicial panel of inquiry set up where recommendations were swept under the carpet. No, this one is not going to be like that. We are very, very optimistic. As far as there is a precedence from, like I said, for some states have started implementation.
Were the states given the mandate to implement the recommendation, or it was going to be the recommendation were going to be implemented by the federal government?
No, I think the mandates were given to state governors
to implement the recommendations.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So for Edo State, we have more time.
We still have about 3 weeks to submit our recommendations to the governor of Edo State.
Okay.
We are very, very optimistic that the recommendations will be implemented within the shortest possible time.
Okay. Now, what and what do you guys follow before you document any what's the word now, any petition, because for some people, there are allegations, as a matter of fact, that the panel, does some form of selective, petitioning. Before they receive your petition, people have been selected and all that. How correct is that?
Selected? No, there is no way. We believe in equality of human beings. There is no way we can select some set of people where we jettison some. Are they not human beings? Are they not victims of police brutality? Opportunity was given to everybody, irrespective of who you are in the society. Who disabled? We have some disabled, physically challenged people who came, and we gave them that opportunity. If we can give opportunity to physically challenged, let alone those that are not physically challenged. The person that gave that information is, I don't think the person...
No, allegations though.
Yes, the allegation is extremely spurious and watery. I mean, you don't stand the test of time. Nothing that you cannot have progressive elements like my scholar, Dr. Kelly Osumbo, and other progressive-minded activists, then we will just jettison some people. No. We will address the president, we will come out as the representative of the plebeians, the representative of the ragtags and the bobtails, the representative of the commoners, the talakawas, who will come out to tell the world that look at what is going on in our panel, and as such, we will resign honorably.
Okay. All right, now from our sister Uyi, just like what I asked Kola, the greatest fear and worry for most people is that this panel won't turn out to be National Confab of 2014. You want to talk on that?
Well, I dare say it, and with all sense of conviction that we do not have a state government that will put us through those harrowing experiences. I'm very sure that the state government, the governor headed by Mr. Godwin Obaseki, will definitely live up to his billing. Because he has shown those elements as part of his governance style time to come. You see the way he cared so much for the pensioners, those people you consider the senior citizens that have served us meritoriously, who some time ago were being subjected to all kinds of ill treatments. And you see the way he has positioned them, and they have become a priority in the state. And I believe too that he will have such compassion for people who are coming out of the ills of police brutality and oppression, and he will definitely see to it. Edo State's government is a government that listens, and I want to categorically say that the panel will definitely do a good job, because I know of the caliber of persons who are there, and Edo State government will definitely implement what they are bringing out. It will not go down well if we hear that certain states have started doing what they should do with regards to implementing the recommendations to your panel, and you come to your state and say this is the only state out of the country. We always want to be among those who are, spoken of very well, and I don't have any fear about that at all. What we were trying to understand is what the Marxist has told us about now, that look, it was not just I heard before that there was an extension to the time given to them, but I had no idea for how long it will be. But now he has categorically stated it as a member of the panel that we have one more month to go. So this is also using this occasion to tell people of Edo State that as at the end of May, we will begin also to ask questions of our governors, our government, as to what they are doing with the reports that have been put before them.
Okay, now, Comrade Kola Edokbaina, now the time frame extended it with, is it going to be enough? Because if you look at the society, perhaps there's a plethora, number of complaints here and there and all that. So do we think that this time added, it will be enough eventually?
By the special grace of God, because this issue of injustice is still repeating itself again in Edo State.
Even after the ENDSARS.
Even after the ENDSARS protest. As I speak, as we discuss here, the Inoge of the Idogbo community was arrested and charged with armed robbery. He was charged to court that he robbed 40,000 naira because there is a big man that is interested in this matter.
Well, let us not digress now. No, I will let us not because the
question you asked me,
yeah, let's stay
if
on.
we have issue like this, I will tell you.
Let's stay on the
there will
topic.
be series of petitions against the police.
Yeah,
we thought that the police have repented from their sin. If the Duke of a dukedom can be treated, can be humiliated like that, what will happen
Now,
to the common man?
yeah, let's not digress because we don't have the police to defend that here. So I won't let you continue on that line. We're talking about something different.
Yes,
so
yes. It's a statement by the wayside and a bit addictive.
Yeah, so we definitely are looking at the time frame because just like what you are trying to insinuate here now, that it's probably a situation that can never end. I mean, we still have injustice.
Yes.
At times, not even from the police. Yes. It can be between individuals. So it's probably something that may not end. So if that is the situation, do we see a time frame elapsing, for such a panel?
It is not supposed to elapse. It is supposed to be a panel that will do a permanent panel. Whenever there are issues of injustice and oppression, you report to the panel, and the panel will do the needful. If we do try it like a year, 2 years, or 3 years at least, police would have known that there is a body that is watching their activities, and as such, they will repent from their sin. If we don't have 1, 2, 3, 6 months, as the case may be, we finish our work. We submit recommendations to the.
Now, Comrade Kola, when you talk about the police like this, that don't you think even the police are victims of the so-called the ENDSARS protest?
Yes.
Because if you look at some of the recommendations, some of the demands, there's the one that talks about increment of the police salary.
Yes,
so it shows that the police are even victims too. And also there are also allegations that at times police are even brutalized by citizens, by civilians. So at the end of the day, it's something that it's for everybody, not necessarily against the police.
No, it is not against the police. But there were some policemen whose cars were burnt during the ENDSARS protest. They came. I will get them fair hearing. So many of them. We have more than 50 policemen who came.
Okay, they also came to the panel to make their complaints too.
Okay. I will give them fair hearing. Yeah, because they are human beings like us. We must commend the police for the good job they are doing. If not for the police and all that, the armed robbers would have taken over the state. We must commend. There is nowhere that you don't see bad eggs. But I want to say that the bad eggs are still operating. Mostly in Edo State Command, they are still operating. We want to tell them to do their work with the fear of God, because the world is watching. The world is watching. Look at what happened in Lagos. A police officer that was assaulted, somebody that drove against traffic. The police officer was trying. It's from Edo State ASP Irabo. Yes, Irabo, trying to arrest the person. The person was hitting the policeman, assaulted the policeman, inflicted injury on the policeman. The policeman was calm. He exhibited a very high level of professionalism. Today, he is commended. The governor of Lagos State gave him an award. A prominent Nigerians on social media are donating money for him. That this is the kind of police we want in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. So I will just give 1 or 2 opportunities to viewers out there to maybe make 1 or 2 comments via SMS 08024645409. Sincere apologies, I didn't say that at the beginning of the discussion, but you can quickly do your SMS through 1 or 2 comments concerning what we're talking about. 08024645409. I repeat, 08024645409. One more time, 08024645409. SMS only. If you send a WhatsApp message, I'm not going to take it. 08024645409. Now, pharmacist, as we make preparations to conclude this discussion today, so what do you think can be the way forward so that we won't have a repetition of the ENDSARS protest as a country anymore?
Yeah, well, one of the recommendations that I think should be made is to ensure that the judicial panel, the judicial commission, is enacted as a law to, constantly, round the clock, receive petitions from individuals, especially as it relates to brutalities from security agencies. And the security operatives should also avail themselves the opportunity of reaching out to that panel when they feel that they have been assaulted or they have been brutalized. I think all state governments should take a look at these aspects, because it is also a way of defending your citizens. Why do I say so? Like we talked about the security architecture now, it's in the hands of the federal. All the things that regions are doing, they are just ad hoc arrangement right now to deal with the existing state of insecurity. But the security apparatus are in the hands of the federal government. There is very little that the state government can do, you know, especially when they are conflicting orders from higher authority. So when you set up this judicial commission to look at brutality meted out against the public, it's a way forward.
Now, pharmacist, when you say this, what we readily ask is, what do you think an agency like the National Human Rights Commission it's doing? How come if we have such an agency, we still have issues that bother on human rights?
From what I know, the National Human Rights Commission is still a body under the federal government, isn't it? So it could be considered a federal government apparatus to look at this. But how effective have they been over the time? I know they struggle so much, they try to fight on the side of the people, but how effective have they been? Let us enact a law that will put in place a judicial commission that will look into all of this. Another thing is to make recommendations to the federal government to look at the living conditions of our policemen. This is very trite, because you don't expect, you know, I have experience in mental health. You don't expect people to come out from where they come out from and have proper mental health orientation. You know, they're angry people. They come to the street. They don't even know what they do. You hear of accidental discharge here and there. You think these people are happy? Some of them have to do things that ordinarily they will not do. So the government has to look at this. They should not pay lip service to these things. Then again, the federal government has to look for a way of training and retraining our police force. Very important. And we should jettison this idea of joining the force as a way of getting unemployment. There are those who really want to give their services to the force. They are there. They have the right academic qualification. They are there. They should be annexed and put in the force. You know, not you just say, oh, you don't have a job. Will you like to join the police force? Yes, okay. Enlisting. Take this man enlisting. And the man is of questionable character. He's in the force. All right. You understand? So all of these things should be considered.
All right, now comrade quickly.
Yes, yes I think I'm a perfect manacron with the submission of my brother here, pharmacist Oriaki, that there should be enactment of law that will give birth to judicial panel of inquiry, to the judicial commission, so that when individuals are brutalized by individuals or by security agents, they will report to the commission, yes, for justice to be done. Okay. And we want to also say that the welfare of the police needs to be taken into cognizance by the federal government. As we discuss here today, police are not insured. There is no life insurance for our policemen.
Now, you are not a policeman,
no,
so
I'm not a policeman.
You cannot
I have
say
so many friends who are policemen. There was one of my friends who had a gun injury. A policeman. We contributed to save his life. Today he's alive. It is very obvious they are not insured. They should be insured. When they are insured, salaries are increased as at when due, and the issue of corruption in the force will reduce drastically. And police have to do their work with the fear of God. Like what happened in March 29 when we protested. Policemen, more than 120 policemen enveloped museum ground, restricting us of our movement. We protested against the hike in the price of cement.
So that things are not done. We have that right.
Yeah, you
to freedom of association and peaceful
did you get a
assembly.
permission to do that?
No, you don't need permission. No, you don't even need permission.
Did you write to the police? That is not the issue, though.
Coverage, when we published it, DSS called us. We had series of meetings with DSS.
Yeah,
and
when
we
I
promised
said
them that the protest is going to be protest.
did the police promise you guys security? Did you get a feedback from the police that they were going to secure you guys so that the process won't be hijacked?
So that's not part of it. We have the right to freedom of association.
I know. At times,
it is second. If you want to write to the police for physical security, it's for information. Thank you. It's just for information. We have done that to the DSS promised us adequate security. All of a sudden, policemen came. Policemen were supposed to secure us.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
No, it's part of it. It's one of the things that lead to ENDSARS protest. This kind of thing should stop. The commissioner of police should at least do his work, discharge the constitutional responsibility with the fear of God. Okay.
Now, I have one or two SMSs. There's this one that comes from Godwin, very funny. It says that for him, he thinks that Pidgin English should be eradicated at all rounds the country, both in music and movies and in speaking generally, because this breeds agberoism, and agberoism leads to protest. And of course, I have another one from Society Enfosa. It says that you guys are doing a great job. Thanks to Comrade Kola Edokbayi and the panel, and of course you plead for speedy implementation for the recommendation, and a very big one coming from Prince Society, Comrade Prince Society Efosa. Well, the very last one here comes from Engineer Dr. Ilaboya. It says that, let's see now, it says that, like my brother rightly said, it is important that the panel of inquiry should remain for as long as time does, and should be well funded. It will serve the check and balances action and inaction of our security agents. Engineer Dr. Ilaboya there. Well, those are some of the few SMSs on the topic today. Gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for finding time for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And Comrade Edokbayi. Now, I need to let our viewers out there know that when we invite guests here, anything they say is entirely their own opinion about issues and topics that we talk about. It is not the opinion, and of course, it is not the stand of independent radio and television. Thank you so much one more time, gentlemen.